What?
Do that again. Your mic was muted.
You always do this to me. Okay, and my cat is meowing. Welcome to the after party, guys, because when we're not in our studio, our place is complete chaos. We have 2 dogs, 2 naked cats, and it's just wild. Anyways, since Dolores was probably one of my favorites, if not my favorite in this episode, especially with all of her charity and she loves animals, I guess it's okay that my naked cat is meowing while we're recording.
Yeah, stop yelling.
Guys, welcome back for the Real Housewives of New Jersey after party. Let's get started because we have the full recap tomorrow with Ricky Cornish at 1 p.m. Eastern on Up and Adam 1. But for everyone who's joined Up and Adam 2, we just hit 16,000 subscribers and it's growing so fast. You guys are the best. And before we get started, if you haven't seen it already, we dropped new merch, Real Housewives of New Jersey inspired merch today on upandadamlive.com. You guys are going to love it. Jason, let's get it.
Well, first of all, T-Talk with Shaw says Cat has opinions. What do you think Mayday's saying right now?
Mayday is saying, don't forget to unmute the mic.
No, she's not saying that.
Oh.
Why? Because she wants to be heard?
Yes.
Okay, so listen. I think Jersey is one of the best franchises because the families are so authentic, right?
Right.
Like, they're so cool. They're so, I don't know. Like, when you think about Teresa and Joe and their family dynamic, it is very real.
Right.
Like, this shit's real. Anyway, we kick off with Teresa going to therapy.
Yes.
Right? She's had, 6 months of therapy or something like that at this point?
6 months of therapy. I'm really proud of Teresa because even when they show all of the footage of her before, she was very explosive. She's talked about it multiple times. In their family, they're Italian. They don't talk about their feelings. They hash it out. They flip tables. Not everyone, okay? But I'm proud of her. She's growing. She's evolving. That is what
Do you think this is like
to
do with Louis, though?
Yes, she even said that. She said Louis talks about his feelings and he encouraged her to go to therapy. He wants her to be able to react better. And I love that. I love that.
I mean, what do you think about the whole situation between her and Joe, though? Because she's holding on to something from that guy's night. She asked him if he wants to make peace, and now they're kind of like.
Well, I feel like for her and asking about making peace, guys, sorry about my cat. I feel like for her and, asking if he wants to make peace, and then she leads right into, her brother scares her. She said, my brother scares me because he's so reactive in his anger. But it's wild because they're so similar. And I think that's why they butt heads. It's like 2 Tauruses,
Yeah. I don't know. It's funny. It's really interesting to watch her go through this process and become like a namaste.
I love the namaste.
A namaste. I like a namaste, Teresa. You can't stay the same forever, right?
I mean, the point is to evolve and grow. That is what she is doing. I'm here to celebrate that.
Matthew Freeman in the chat says, now this is real family drama. And really,
yeah,
like as annoying as the whole back and forth of the Gorga, Judice, like that whole thing, Teresa, it's really great TV. And really, sad. I feel like at some point, whether you think it's fake or not, you can kind of relate, right? I mean, I can relate to this with my siblings sometimes.
Listen,
why did I say that?
Over the span of time and how many marriages that my parents have had and divorces, I think I've had over 11 or 12 brothers and sisters, step, full, half, whatever. Actually, no full. Yes, I understand fighting with your siblings. I get that part. But it is really sad. It's sad to see them fight. And I do question sometimes whether or not the TV show makes that worse.
Oh, 100%.
Yes.
100%. And then you bring on let's say a Melissa, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she's getting a lot of attention because she's cute, has some talent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is going to cause conflict across the board.
I mean, it's unfortunate.
I love that we can have this conversation.
Yes, we see it. Okay, keep going.
Right. So Jen Fessler shows up at Marge's house. Marge just had surgery on her wrist, which I can attest. When they showed that, it was that little clip of her after surgery, kind of pushing her arm up. Look what just happened.
Yeah.
I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 surgeries. Oof. And going under is for some people it's really scary. And for me, it's great.
Oh,
but when you wake up, it literally is you don't know where you are. It's like the high you can't get from.
So you're saying being sedated is great?
Yeah, to a point, I would say.
Okay. No, but when Jen Fessler went over to Margaret's house, first of all, I was questioning when she talked about, she's like, listen, right now I don't have a hand, so Joe has to help me, and he even has to wipe my butt. And I'm like, I hope that was for TV.
But he's a plumber. It's just like another job.
It's just like another job. And I hope that was for TV. If it's not, that is real love. And I would never ask Jason to wipe my ass. That would
Girl,
just
you're on your
me.
own. I'll get you a bidet.
I think we would have to hire somebody and just reach it. We'd sell furniture to hire somebody to wipe my ass.
The
we would
bidet.
get a
Japanese
bidet.
are so ahead of us on this.
Yes.
But what did you think about Jen Fessler kind of confronting Marge about her kind of outburst? Because she was like, she compared her to like a 16-year-old.
I think two things. I think one, Jen has to realize Margaret is still filming a TV show, so her reactions have to be bigger. Her emotions have to be bigger. Everything has to be bigger for camera. But also, I think that she's a true friend in the sense that she's like, listen, Margaret, this is not the Margaret I know. You were screaming like a 16-year-old, and she holds her accountable. That is a good friend. That is a true friend. And that is something that I'm really enjoying Jen Fessler. I understand why she was cast in a friend role. I think she's perfect.
I think she's great. I think we're going to see more of her, and I would like to see more of her. And she seems pretty fair. She's like, okay, yeah. Aiden was a little effed up in that moment, but
I mean, she even talked to Jennifer Aiden, and she said that they text, and she's like, I'm trying to understand both sides. I always have your back. I'm your friend first, but I'm trying to understand both sides. Mayday.
Well, she won't come to you.
Yeah, she will. Keep going.
Anyway, so Jen Aiden thinks the ladies are afraid of Margaret because she knows a lot about the ladies. How do you think that is?
We've heard this for a long time.
Do you think it's true?
I mean, we've heard this for a long time.
Do you think Margaret keeps all the little skeletons in a closet, just in the back pocket, like wants to break them out when she needs to? Like, how do you feel about that?
I don't know. If Margaret's a vault, then listen, if Margaret's a vault and you have something to hide, then she obviously would not be the person to piss off, right? So if you know that she's a vault and you know she has these secrets and you know you have something to hide, don't you think you would be a little bit nicer to Margaret?
I mean,
that's the way I look at it.
That's an interesting point.
I mean,
I want to kind of pan over to Dolores because Dolores is like one of my favorite housewives, A, of all of the franchises, but B, definitely of Jersey.
Yes.
And I'm so happy for her with Paulie. I think he's really kind of a stand-up guy, so much so that her dad is really into this relationship.
Right.
But can I just say something really quick?
Go ahead.
I'm in love with this house.
Oh.
Like everything I ever wanted in a house.
You're so superficial.
No, I'm so superficial. I don't care.
Okay.
Girl, sue me.
Okay.
I really love his house.
Right.
I love everything about it. The modern look, the beautiful glass kind of, pan staircase, the wine. I could go on and on. The wine cellar in the background, the modern look from the outside, but in the old Jersey kind of neighborhood.
I want to cut you off here real quick because I'm sure that Dolores loves this house, but the one thing that I really appreciate about Dolores is you can throw all of the glitz and glamour. It's all about the core and it's what is in here. So she's looking at the house and she's like, yes, this is beautiful, but this is not the rest of your life. This is not love. This is not the things that matter. I've been through, a few relationships that did not work out. And I want to find somebody who loves me, who wants to be there for me, support me, and be by my side. And Paulie, I met him at BravoCon with Dolores. Literally, I'm envious of their relationship. I love our relationship, but they are so supportive of each other.
Yeah, be careful what you say.
They're
not married?
Not yet. Not yet. She found her guy. I think that this relationship is not going anywhere. I think this is here to stay.
So Pam asked in the live chat, she's like, what does Paul do for a living?
I would love to ask her and Paul. I don't know. Stay tuned because maybe we can ask and find out, or maybe you can probably just Google it. But I will find out.
Google's a very helpful thing.
Yes, we can just Google his name. Great question, though.
So Rachel, Melissa, Frank, Joe, they all meet up for batting practice.
Yes.
Frank's kind of upset because he feels like Paulie is affecting the dynamic that him and Dolores had. But I understand where everyone's coming from at this point, right? Frank is the father of your kids, right? He's worked on this relationship, which hasn't been a relationship. It's not you're in love kind of relationship. It's I'm the father of your kids. We are best friends. We've been through a lot of shit together. We've gotten over a lot of shit. What do you think? Because I'm on two sides here. I understand Frank's concerns. I do. But I'm really Team Paulie when it comes to be okay, that's great.
Right.
But
Paulie's not doing anything bad. He's coming into the situation saying, Frank, before she was with a man who always put his job first. Dr. David always made that very transparent. My first love is work. So Dolores attended events by herself and Frank was by her side. That's great. And I think that Frank came from a place of he wasn't really there. If you listen to their backstory, throughout raising the kids and stuff, Dolores did a lot of that by herself. So I think it made him feel better to be there for her throughout this process. However, she's in a relationship with a man now who's like, I've got her. I love that you guys can co-parent, but it doesn't need to be this close. You don't need to go on vacations and stay in the same room. You guys don't have to be in and out of each other's houses with keys. It's not the most conventional relationship anyway. So of course, yes, it would raise red flags, or at least, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we'll
no,
get
100%.
into it more.
100%. Guys, 60 in the room, hit that like button if you haven't done so already. It's our little after party. What is that? Wait, what did you just do?
Hitting the like button.
That looks so weird.
Sorry.
All right. So I want to jump into Dolores. Dolores seems to be like the topic of conversation. Right. Last year, she had the softball event, which was really fun to watch. Jen Aiden almost fell on her face and ate it after having a nose job. This year, they raised $200,000, which I believe is like $20,000 more than they raised last year.
Yes.
Which is kind of amazing. Did you see the crowd they had? I mean, it's like mini BravoCon at the baseball field.
Okay, so the interesting thing is I saw the videos from the fans before when they were actually filming, and I'm sure a lot of you guys did, but the people outside screaming, like when Teresa got out of the car and the cast gets out of the car.
Crazy.
The fandom was wild, just like BravoCon, like you said. But let's get back to like the real point of the event, right? It's the doctors versus the New Jersey cast members, and the whole point is to raise money. Last year, she raised $180,000. She's putting this on TV. Now she put together a calendar, raised an additional $20,000 on top of $180,000 this year, and raised a total of $200,000. Throw some respect on her name. That's how I feel. And you get to play baseball and eat a hot dog?
Speaking of the calendar,
tell me.
Do we think that this was a good calendar? And
yes,
if you had a favorite, and I'll let you have a little pass with this one, who is your favorite husband in the calendar?
Probably, I think Evan would probably be.
I feel like Evan is like the key to the calendar here.
Yes.
This is what's selling the calendar.
Evan is always the go-to.
The chat agrees with you.
Yes, everyone loves Evan. And Evan's a hot guy, right? Everyone loves him. And he's really just relaxed, chill. You can't really say anything negative about Evan. He's supportive. He looks good. The calendar photos came out great. What are you going to say bad?
I mean, listen, talking of saying things bad. You have Danielle kind of goes up to Margaret and tells her kind of what Jen was saying, right?
Yeah.
To be careful around her. She has secrets. Just like Teresa, and how Teresa said, what did she say? She's a better friend than enemy. And then the other girls chime in with okay, real friends don't say that shit. They don't say.
Again, and I know that I just don't look at it from a normal viewer standpoint anymore, especially being around some of the filming for Beverly Hills and Vanderpump Rules. I see that this is being said because Teresa knows how to make a great show. Even if you listen to Teresa in interviews, when Danielle Staub pulled Margaret Joseph's hair, I believe Teresa said something to the effect of, I knew it would make for great TV, but it's one of the things that I regret. She knows how to put on a good show. That is why she has secured the longevity that she has. So I think by her dropping these little things, right, and giving it to the newbies, she knows that the newbies are going to run with it, bring it back to Margaret, and then they're going to be on the front lines, and Teresa's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And it's great TV.
Well, Teresa shows up after everyone else has showed up, and Joe is kind of keeping his distance a little bit because I think he still feels awkward from the guys' night or something like that, right? Their phone call. It's just weird. But you know who I feel really sorry for is the cousins, Gia, the kids, all of them, because I feel like they're trying to connect. And I've been in this situation because my family was really close. I was close with my cousins. And when our parents weren't getting along, you stayed away.
Right. I feel like I go through this right now with some cousins, and I'm good with it, but I'm not in the same situation that they are. They were so tight-knit and close. I feel like it's unfortunate. I think it's unfortunate, and it plays into everybody's lives. It affects everyone. And then I feel like the kids are forced to pick sides because even though that we're not seeing it on camera, you have to remember that there are still conversations going on behind the scenes in their households. So they hear Melissa and Joe talk about their feelings and, towards Louis and Teresa. And just like Teresa's kids hear Teresa and Louis talk about their feelings about Melissa and Joe. So even though they say, we don't let this affect us, it's still in their brain. And then, mind you, they're all on social media. So this is playing out all over their Instagrams, Twitters, TikTok. It's not normal.
It's not normal. I mean, these kids have grown up on reality TV. That's not normal. At least you're in a show where the family dynamics are a bit I don't know. I just feel like authentic, genuine.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
But I do have to bring up something.
Uh-oh.
That's a Jen Aiden thing. Okay. And ask you a question about how you feel about this because it made me think for a minute. Rachel Fuda. It's Fuda or Fuda? Fuda. Rachel Fuda brings up to Jen Aiden what her daughter told her. Oh. And, you know, Jen has always thought that her daughter wanted to be this Broadway star and whatever, but I guess told Rachel she wants to be a therapist and a love therapist and help couples and help people. And then Jen even says later, she's like, every time that Bill and I fight, she's coming up to us and being like, remember, you guys love each other.
Kiss.
Is this like, this is definitely a problem that stems from knowing what happened, right?
Yes.
And it makes me feel really bad. As much as Jen Aiden gets on my nerves sometimes, and I know she gets on Andy Cohen's nerves, but you know, and obviously at Bill's at some point. Yeah. But yes, it makes me feel really bad for the kids.
No, I completely understand, you know, and I hate because I always get shit for this. People say, Adam, it's not about you. You know, growing up, I feel like I saw so much and so many things that I was not supposed to see. A child is not supposed to see. And I think that really carved out like the rest of my life and shaped it in the person that I am. And I think that, you know, is for every child. It affects every child, how they grow up, what they see, what they know. That's why so many people talk about as parents. Some parents say, I'm going to shield you from the world. And other parents are like, no. Take your little ass, go outside, and that is the world. So then when you turn 18, you know what's going on and you know how to deal with it. So I get both sides. My heart breaks for little Olivia. I think that she shouldn't have been privy to this information so young. I hate that she found it on TikTok. Again, social media, not normal.
How do you feel, though? Because, you know, even someone in the live chat said that's horrible what Marge did, but this has been talked about within the family, right?
Right.
Where do you think the fault falls here?
On the kids knowing?
Yeah.
Listen, well, the kids wouldn't have known had Margaret not dropped the bomb, right?
Right.
But this was something that Margaret claims that there were whispers already and that the community already knew about this, right? So the kids would eventually find out, but maybe not this young. I think it's so unfortunate. I think that Margaret was also pushed to a point with Jen and Jen criticizing her marriage and criticizing her infidelity that she wrote about in her book. Margaret came on the show and she's like, you want to know about my skeletons? I put it in a book. Here they all are. And then Jennifer really got on her back about that. And Jennifer even admitted, maybe I think it's because you triggered me because my husband's infidelity. So seeing you, knowing that you were the, you know, or that, you know, whatever the situation is, that triggered me. And Margaret, I think, got a little bit of a better understanding, but she's like, just like Candace Diller Bassett says on Potomac, you can't go at me and tell me what level I can come back at you. That's not how this works.
Wow.
Right?
I didn't even think about that.
Right.
But, I mean, this is reality TV, right?
I mean,
it's just a shame that, you know, we're watching this with Teresa and Joe. The families have to be kind of the victims to whatever happens on the show.
Yeah.
You know, and that kind of
this
sucks.
is like the only family show.
Yeah.
So this is why people love it, because people can relate to it so much. The fighting between aunts and uncles, the infidelity, the awkward family dynamics, blending families, you know, breaking apart, all of it. A lot of people can relate to this. People don't necessarily relate to, you know, new housewives that come on to, let's say, new franchises, and, you know, they just try to give us a show. This is not the same as Real Housewives of New Jersey. Real Housewives of New Jersey, they're just like, we're a family, and yes, we do know little tidbits to throw in there that make for great TV.
Yeah, yeah. Well, guys, 100 in the room. Hit that like button if you haven't done so already. It helps us out a lot. Welcome to our messy little... I don't like that. I don't know what the hell you're doing.
Yes,
that is
you
not
do
hitting
like
the...
that. Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Listen,
right, so
I've been up since 5:30 this morning, filming all day. So
go right behind you. Right behind you. Okay, listen. Jen and Bill go to therapy at the end.
Right.
We've seen a lot of therapy this episode, right? So
I mean, I think it's good.
I think it's good. Listen, if they're taking the responsibility to go try to fix themselves, whether it's, you know, real or not, if Teresa's going to do whatever or whatever, I'm good for them.
Well, you went to therapy with your ex and you said it didn't work. It wasn't
very
effective.
Different. Yeah.
Right.
Well, like when you're with someone
who's not different. He cheated on you and Bill cheated on Jennifer. So how
correct. Because Bill and Jennifer are married. They have 5 kids. Okay. They've been together for a long time. This is a lot. That's very different than being together for like 2 years. Yeah. And
that's
you know,
right.
You're
right.
Your ex is a slut. Oh, all right. That's very,
okay.
Right, that's very different.
Okay.
But I have to say though, the way Bill is dealing with this on national television, this is just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he has a very calm demeanor.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I think that's her problem. He doesn't say anything. That's what she's saying.
Because it's done. This was not recent.
But she just said during therapy, she's like, when I found out about the infidelity, he didn't say anything. When I said, listen, I want to put this behind us, he didn't say anything.
Yeah.
So her point is she's like, I'm communicating with you. I'm literally laying down and letting you walk all over me. I'm taking care of your kids. I'm your equal partner. I'm not your subordinate. Say something. That's what she's trying to say. She's like, tell me, give me something, an emotion. I could not, and I like them, and I do. I could not personally be in a relationship with somebody who will not communicate, because I would be like, I would want to just be like, come on, say something. And I mean,
even the therapist pointed this out at one point.
Yeah.
Like, well, Bill's very quiet, and I think he didn't ever wanted this to come out, and I think he's dealt with this on his own, but now he has to deal with this in another way, publicly, with the kids, all that jazz. I asked you this before because I think it was either last week or the week before that Jen and Bill were at dinner, and it just seemed like off. Do you see Bill and Jen lasting forever?
I don't know, because I think the longer that Jennifer Aiden is on the show, I think she just is discovering herself, owning her power, realizing that she's finding her voice. And she's realizing, I'm not just the mom that stays at home and takes care of the kids. Like, I have an influence. I have a great group of friends who are all very successful. She realizes that she is not that woman she was 20 years ago. And I think that's affecting how she's looking at the relationship now. Holy shit, I should be a therapist. Guys, I tried therapy and it was over the phone. I found him on an app. I was on the phone with the lady for like 5 minutes. I asked for my money back and I was like, no.
No, girl.
I'll therapize myself.
I mean, listen, okay, so someone in the live chat says, sorry, it's very hard to read the names here on my little phone because we're just, we're very cash tonight, guys.
Cash after party.
It's a casual after party. But she says that Jen just wants Bill to stand up for her, and I feel like it's not hard to do. But like, she feels she's really the only parent. 5 kids, one who is just very involved.
Right.
She complains about him coming home and going into the pool house for like 3 hours.
That's weird.
Yeah, but he does have a stressful job. Like, I get that. You need time to like unwind.
You show up, your car's outside. You don't even come in and say hi to your family. They're all sitting at the table eating, and you go straight to the pool house. It's weird.
Yeah, that might be weird.
It's weird. And I would be pissed. I'd be like, hello, you've been gone all day. I've been here with your children. Where are you? Why are you in the pool house?
And he's like, look at the house. My job pays for the house.
I would be like, I don't give a shit about the house. Sell the house. We'll live in a shed. But my point is like, you look at the house. Exactly. Why are you not going in the house? You have 10 bedrooms, 16 bathrooms, and you need to go to the pool house? What are you doing in there? It's sketch. It's weird.
I never thought about that.
Right? It's weird. I think it's weird. I mean, that's why.
Interesting. Well, you have a recap tomorrow at what time?
Okay. So guys, thank you so much for joining us for the New Jersey after party. Like Jason said earlier, don't forget to smash that like button. I want to say a few things really quick before we go. One, we have our Real Housewives of New Jersey merch that just dropped today on upandadamlive.com. Go check it out. I think you guys are going to love it. I'm so excited about it. And we have more Vanderpump Rules, Orange County, like all kinds of merch coming at the end of the week. And then tomorrow we are going live at 1 p.m. Eastern with Ricky Cornish. Go check him out on Instagram. He has the most iconic interviews. You guys are going to love this recap. So I'm excited for that. This Saturday, we are dropping a bunch of interviews for you guys to check out. You're going to freak the out. In the meantime, if you're not subscribed to Up and Adam Channel 1, go get subscribed. And if you're not subscribed over here and you're watching, just press subscribe. We love you guys. And also, go check out Anchor Watch right after this at 11 p.m. on Up and Adam. Love you guys.
Bye, everyone.